It's Friday morning, the day after I made the bull stakes stream video. At the end of the video, I came off Electric Road, up a track up the bottom of Ferry, Hinksey Road, and it's such a lovely morning that I thought I'd go in the other direction and just show what Electric Road itself is like, going from north to south. It's a nice walk on its own, and it's also a useful component of longer walks, such as if you want to get to South Hinksey and across the A34. So I'm now about halfway up Ferry Hinksey Road, and Willow Lane is over on the right, and the track that I'm going to take is past Willow Lane at the end of the road, and I'm going to walk there now. That's the industrial estate coming up on my left. That is Willow Lane entrance. That's the entrance to the industrial estate, and that's where I walked along yesterday to get back to the Thames and the Osney Railway Bridge. Kings Meadow. Electricity substation. Terry's Stone Cottage. And this is the beginning of the lead on to Electric Road. It sounds as though Terry's Stone Cottage has a lot of business. We ignore the gate that says strictly private. And This is where I came off yesterday. Over in that direction is North Hinksey, and beyond it is the A34, and beyond that is Harcourt Hill, and at the top of that there's a ridge that goes along to the houses that I showed in the Chilswell video, and you can then take a path in the opposite direction and go down a hill, cross the A34 at the Chilswell Bridge and go to South Hinksey. So it's like having a giant inverted U where you go up one leg crossing the A34 on the way and then turn, go past Chilswell at some point and then turn and go down the other leg of the U. The A34 bisects both North and South Hinksey, and the bits on the other side of it, the far side of it, have rather lost their identity, which is a shame. There's less to say about what's on my left at this point. It's just the industrial estate and the little stream that split off the Bull Stake and runs tightly round the back of the industrial estate. This is a very nice walk and a useful part of longer walks, but it is plagued by constant noise from the A34. This should be a bridge, and it is a bridge. It's the bridge crossing the Bull Stake. It came across in the opposite direction yesterday. As I said in the end of that video, the Bull Stake carries on over there. I'm not going to try to follow it there because both banks look pretty overgrown with vegetation, and I think it might be a bother to hack my way through it. I will show you though where it joins up with other tracks. This bridge, incidentally, is given on one of the web maps as Cross Currents. I don't know whether that's an official name. Okay, this... Wow, were those there yesterday? The two inverted U pylons and the tree are the ones I talked about yesterday when I was telling you about Narnia View. So here we are, and somebody thought that this landscape reminded him or her of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. Apart from the pylons, I suppose, but as I said, Narnia did have a lamp post, which a bit of which had been carried to the wood between the worlds after a struggle with an evil witch, and which got shoved into the soil as Narnia was created. And because the soil was so full of creative force at that point in Narnia's history, the lamppost took root and grew. A friend made reference to that story when I lost part of my umbrella on the Chilswell path some years ago. I never found an umbrella tree though. There are two more bridges to cross, and the next one crosses a ditch called Hogacre Ditch, and presumably a ditch it means something that was dug deliberately for drainage rather than something more natural like a stream. And you can go in the same direction as Hogacre Ditch, possibly following it for at least part of the way to Hogacre Common, which is an eco park somewhere over there that joins Pembroke College Sports Ground. I'll mention that for reference. And Hogacre Common has a cafe which opens in the summer, and from which you can buy very nice salads made with possibly organic vegetables. Look it up, Hogacre Common Cafe. You don't have to walk along the ditch to get to the cafe. The more normal route would be to go down, I think it's White House Road off I think it's White House Road off the Abingdon Road, and then find the path that's been set up that crosses the railway, and you can get to there that way. So now you can see the industrial estate in all its glory. So we're now crossing Hogacre Ditch. And this, by the way, for any electricity supply experts, is what this track is. On the right, to the west, we can now see the ridge very clearly, and part of a farm. Actually, that's probably not technically the ridge. There's higher land beyond it, I think, but it's close. See a car going along the ridge. And I can see a four-legged animal ahead of us. There's something about the way it moves. I've seen urban foxes, and they're much sort of stricter in their movements. They don't. This thing's obviously a dog, and it's very sort of loose-jointed. One can see what's on the other side more clearly now. And we're now coming to the last bridge, and what goes under that is Hinksey Stream, which follows the southern half of Electric Road fairly closely, somewhere back there, and further north goes under the path to the garden of the Fishers pub, the so-called North Hinksey Causeway. There's a track just beyond the overgrowth there, which joins up with the Devil's Backbone, the path to South Hinksey, and which goes to Hogacre Common. I can never quite remember the exact route, so I have to do it, I have to just take it and let muscle memory have its say. if I happen to be down this end of Oxford and I want to get to the Eco Café. That's one way to do it. But bear in mind that the Eco Café has fairly restricted opening hours, so check on the web first. That is South Hinksey. That's a pylon that stands at a substation just the other side of the Devil's Backbone on a continuation of this cable channel. There used to be a pub there at the end of the Devil's Backbone, but it finally closed probably round about the start of the pandemic. The landlord had tried to revive a previous pub, but he found he just wasn't getting enough custom despite putting on beer festivals and music festivals and such. Too many people in the village were concerned about paying their mortgages, and although there were people on the other side of the A34 in the villages over there who liked the idea of a summer walk to a pub, there weren't enough to keep it going, which is rather sad because it's the loss of another community meeting place. South Hinksey does have a very good fete, which takes place in September, but I don't think it has any other significant events, maybe a Christmas panto or so. Now I may have miscounted bridges, unless we're crossing the Hinksey stream here. Which actually looks sort of possible. Okay, so that's the end of Electric Road. And that's the way I've come. To there is South Hinksey. Over in this direction is this part of the Devil's Backbone. One reference I read said that Devil's Backbone is a common name in England for a crooked footpath. Another suggested that it might be due to a rather odd image, that when this is flooded you just have a few knobs, fence posts maybe, sticking above the waters, and they reminded people of Satan's backbone. need to check. I'm not sure that this is the Hinksey stream. It might be the Eastwick or Eastwake stream. I'm now walking roughly east along the Devil's Backbone, away from South Hinksey, towards Hinksey Park. And on the other side of Hinksey Park is Abingdon Road. I'm about to cross the railway. So this is the railway bridge. There's a train. I do see train spotters on this bridge from time to time. This is Hinksey Lake. I turned recording off because the gimbal thing that I'm holding the camera in doesn't like the steps. And there's obviously a bit of wild swimming going on there. Hi. That goes south and gives access to the side roads off that end of the Abingdon Road. And that goes north through Hinksey Park and gives access to the side roads on that part of Abingdon Road. That's I think they call it the South Hinksey Community Centre. We're not in South Hinksey Village, technically speaking. Sorry, South Oxford Community Centre. Well, that's a reasonable name. And I'm going to end the video shortly. I continued back to the streets and roads just to give a reference point for people who didn't know the area. If you want refreshment after this walk, there isn't very much. South Hinksey itself doesn't have any cafes or pubs, as I noted. The community centre does run a cafe, but only twice a week and only for 3 or 4 hours on the 2 days. The best choice, there is a hotel opposite with the rather odd name of Voco Spires or some such, which has a bar. It's a little bit pricey, but it's okay. Where I normally go if I want something is the Portuguese café, which I showed before on my Abingdon Road video. And I'm going to go there now because there's a Portuguese shop next to it, and I need some olive oil. I've run out. That's a side street called Summerfield, but it doesn't lead out anywhere. It's a Siamese, is it? So this is Lake Street, and it joins the Abingdon Road. That's the hotel, which is indeed called Voco. Looks like no olive oil. Looks like no refreshment either. So that was the cafe. I showed it to you in a previous video. That was the shop. Okay, well, I just spoke to the cafe owner. It seems that they're not reopening. So that is a great shame. No more olive oil. And lots of other nice things either. Right, I'm going to end the video here. See you next time.